Hey, what's up, everyone? DJ Sterf here. All right, so this one means a lot more to me than I let on, but I gotta get it done because it's 7:50 p.m. on December 31st. So I gotta record this, I gotta upload it, and wait for YouTube to process it till it's a good enough quality for y'all not to be like, "Oh man, it's in 360p." So YouTube has sped up their processing a little bit, but this is gonna be in 4K, so I don't know when it's gonna hit 4K 60, but whatever. This one means a lot more to me than I let on, and I hope that this video will highlight some of the reasons as to why that's the case, but relating to running. Not necessarily just the year in review video, because 2019 was an awesome year for me, and I've had some really bad years in the past, and this year was a really amazing one. So I hope your 2020 is an amazing year. Happy New Year, everyone. I've had some family visits, so I've been away from the computer most of the time, if not at work. And I'll have to get back to some of these comments from the past week or week and a half. So a little bit behind on that. But anyway, let's go. I don't know what I'm going to say. I have a general direction. I have some pictures and some video clips, but I don't know what I'm going to say because I have so much to say. I feel like Andre 3000 on the song 16. All right. So Ashley, thank you so much for making this Funko Pop or this Franken Pop or Funko Stein. I don't know. But it's like Rise of the Franken-Freddie, right? But she put together this Funko Pop with, of course, the plywood and the DDR pad with, painted that way, as well as the modeling clay with the juggling balls, and 3 different Funko Pops spliced together. If you want to guess which ones, put it in the comments. She doesn't remember all 3 that she used, but various parts were spliced together to form this one. And yeah, this is some of what I do. I play DDR, I juggle, and I get perfect scores on expert and challenge charts all at the same time. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm pushing the limits of what has been done on this kind of genre of activity, but I'm hoping to continue that when my knee is all healed up, because I hurt it in the running series this year, and it still is a little annoyed. It's not as bad. It's getting better, but I've been rehabbing it the last 8 weeks. All right, so I'll talk about that in a little bit. And again, watch some of the DDR juggling videos. I got about 40 to 50 currently public, and a spreadsheet. If you find a video with the link to that spreadsheet, that has about 300 more videos on top of that. So Juggle Boy and I are the only people with DDR AAAs while juggling. That's perfect full combo. And that's you can check me on that as well. We're trying to push the limits on what's been done and what can be done, So just the self-improvement, pushing crazy limits, seeing what ridiculous stuff can be done, because things can be done that are pretty amazing. So in your life as well, and what limits can you push and that type of thing. It doesn't have to be DDR and juggling. It could be whatever you do and just taking it to the next level, So pushing the limits and seeing what can be done. It's cool. Kind of the reward there is you accomplishing whatever you're going out to accomplish. Okay, so anyway, again, thank you, Ashley, and let's get to the rest of this. So I entered a running series this year, the free-for-all series, and I won overall. It was crazy because I got hurt in November, and I had 7 more events after that point, and I was thinking, well, the second place guy is definitely going to catch me now, but I was strategizing every event after that point because I could not climb stairs after that 10K. I mean, the last 4 miles of that 10K were excruciating pain and me dragging my left leg up hills. So I would gallop up hills and, I'd put most of my weight on my right leg and then tap with my left and then go right back to my right leg. Downhill was fine. Flat was okay. Uphill was crazy, crazy excruciating pain. And my decision on continuing to try to finish the 10K instead of stopping at the 5K, which they do allow, for better or for worse in some cases. Sometimes they lose track of who runs which and have to adjust because of that. And sometimes they don't catch 100% of those too. So you get average, very way below average 5K runners signing up for a 10K, only running 5K in a very slow time, and then them thinking, well, this is like a very competitive 10K time, so it's possible. And so that's happened a few times as well. My coworker ran a race where that happened in this last year's series, and she still doesn't let me stop hearing about it. So anyway, yeah, so first place overall. I thought the second place guy was going to catch me, so I was strategizing every event, seeing what do I need to do, how fast do I need to walk or limp to get to the finish line to hold off second place. And fortunately, I had a stretch of, I think it was 7 in a row that I won. That built up enough points that was kind of the reservoir that I had that was going to diminish But I did win, and I won by a pretty sizable margin, but I wasn't expecting that. And so every run, it was just like a little bit more relief, a little bit more relief, because I was like, well, I don't have to force myself to recover by a certain point. And it turned out that, yeah, I could have sat at home for 6 of those races and still been okay. So I wasn't expecting that high a margin of victory, but it did end up being a very comfortable margin. So I was very happy with that, and I got a lot faster through the year. I did have to skimp on some of these races. So I ran, I think it was 22 5Ks or longer this year, and I'm talking about races, not just like workouts or whatever. That's different. But and that's not including the Juggling World Championships, which was more of a track meet. I didn't ever run cross country. I ran track. I can get to that in a little bit there as to why. But yeah, it was a whole lot of running and a whole lot of wear on the legs and a whole lot of strategizing as to what I needed to do on what events, where I could hold back and finish third on something instead of winning, or what to chase, what not to chase, that type of thing. But it was a great year, and I hope 2020 is even better. I'm not going to run as many in this series because my knee, that run was terrible. Anyway, yeah, all right. So let's keep talking. What else? So anyway, thanks to the Free for All series staff there. You did a great job. World Juggling Championships, another main event this year with running, and I've been through that. So you can view my juggling year in review video for that. I have some pictures of the runs from the year. So I'm going for a time here. This was back, I think, in February, and coming up with some decent times. But I hate running in the cold. I don't know what I was doing. I was just goofy picture on there on the left. I have silver gloves on that right picture there, and then I'm like, yeah, I did it. Like here, I'm just like, man, it's nasty outside, because we had a torrential downpour for like 2 minutes. It was just this crazy cloud burst, and my shirt apparently picked up like all the water possible. So it felt like a weighted vest going back, but I did end up winning that 5K. But it was just nasty for that little bit, and the camera doesn't really show much of it. You see the graininess, and that's got to be the rain, but it's a really good picture for what it was taken in. There I'm wet, and they're not, because they finished way before I did. Because open start, you could start whenever, and I gravitate toward running later, so I ran at just about the latest time possible. It also gives you an idea of who finished when and that type of thing in the open start runs, so it's better to start later, I think, unless you're running more than one. I did run one in October where I ran a 10K in the 37s and then a 5K in the high 18s, or the high-ish, mid to high 18s, right after. Like, I took about a 15-minute break. So I finished the 10K. I started at 8 a.m. on the dot. Then I took about 15 minutes and caught my breath, ate a few gummy bears, changed clothes so I wouldn't be like, sweaty and sweat logged. And then I ran a 5K before it was too late, because you had to start before 9 a.m. and you had to start between 8 and 9 a.m. for both. So I did it, and I think that's probably what really aggravated my knee. Yeah, the physical therapists and the orthopedic surgeons all thought it was a torn meniscus. I had an MRI done, which brought me up to my deductible very nicely. It cost so much, but it was worth getting. They found an old tear that had already healed on its own, which is great. I don't know when I tore my meniscus, but apparently I just kind of, clenched my teeth enough that I survived through it, I guess. But yeah, it was basically everything else. So there was an edema underneath my quadricep. My IT band had ITBS, the iliotibial band syndrome or friction syndrome or whatever. And then patellofemoral patellofemoral pain syndrome. I think that's right. PFPS. Is that right? And then what else? Patellar tendonitis. The patellar tendonitis is still lingering, so that's the thing that I'm hoping goes away. And it scares me away from playing basketball right now, because patellar tendon snap, you could totally do that with basketball, with all the stop and go, and I'm not going to do that until my knee is settled down. So another thing I'm waiting on as well to start back activity with. And I haven't played DDR and Juggle since really like I know it's been since August, but especially since November because I can't right now. So 8 weeks of rehab so far. In this picture right here, it's like the three amigos of the series. Scott won last year. He's on the right. Excellent runner. He's also a physical therapist. Runs his own business with that. And then in the middle, Krister, man, he had a heart attack like 2 or 3 years ago, and then like wasn't in the best shape, had serious arterial blockage, and now he's running like 23-minute 5Ks. Like he's living his best life. He's in his 50s and doing excellently. So and he's weightlifting too. So I mean he's really strong, really fit, and he's an inspiration. And I hope to be that healthy when I'm his age. So yeah, and we ran much of the series together. So it's good to see that picture there. It's a good picture. That one is not from this year. That I have a beard. I'm juggling though. That's the Young Life 5K. I won my age group juggling. I look like iDubbbz there, so it's like, hey, that's pretty good. Here I'm practicing juggling before the juggling World Championships and the Juggling World Championships. And here I was the number 98. So this gets into elementary school. I always chose 14 as a number when I played basketball, whenever I could have the number 14. I just like the number. I don't know why. Just favorite number for no reason, really. Yeah, I would pick 14, and I guess 7 you can consider a divine number, and a lot of basketball players use that. Like Jeremy Lin, he would pick 7 or 17. Like he's one person, but then 7. So like God carries him and gives him strength and it has given him abilities and life and all that. So it's kind of just a nod to God and a shout out, if you will. But in elementary school, my parents didn't really see the need for me to invest in the hour before school started to run. And I think maybe part of it was my mom had the superstition about like you'd have a heart attack if you ran any time before 9 a.m. or something like that. Like she would read these articles in newspapers or read these, yeah. And she'd read these articles about how some CEO, like some 65-year-old CEO from Bel Air, he croaked playing tennis at like 8:59 a.m. And, you know, of course it's not other factors. It's just, oh, it's before 9 a.m. and your heart's not ready. And there is some wisdom in having, you know, proper warm up and that type of thing. But I don't know about that. So they wanted me to be able to sleep in and that type of thing. And that was their priority. So I kind of get that. But the fastest miler per grade would go out to the state meet. And you had to go, I think, to at least one practice. And so they brought me by one practice and that was it. And like there was a bare minimum of how many times I had to go in order to participate in that state meet. And we ran the 400 meters, so it was just one lap around the NC State track. And we have a videotape of it somewhere, a VHS tape. And I dart out. Like I didn't have the training to know at the ripe old age of, he was like 7 or 8 years old, to know that I have to pace myself and what is a comfortable pace, like what I could actually sustain. So the video is just me sprinting like crazy and then dying at the end. Just like I hold the lead up through about 200 meters. And then I think I did respectably well. Like I did well, but I did not win because I did not know how to pace myself. And so I basically burned out everything that I had going for it. Leroy Jenkins style and all that. But I wore the number 98 for that because I couldn't get 14, I couldn't get 7, and I couldn't get 21. So I told Coach Daniels, the coach, hey, I'll take 98. And he's like, why 98? And I'm like, because I like the number 14 and I love God and I see 7 as the number of God. So 14 times 7 is 98. And he like kind of looked at me funny because I did the math right. Like I was really good at math. And I still am, but I had some teachers who definitely kind of challenged my love of math for just a little bit there. But I still love math. But Coach Daniels was my coach for that. And while he didn't coach all that, he didn't coach me all that many times. I think that was a 5th grade thing too. Oh man, it was crazy. The meet, and also my parents, not my parents overall, but like some of the things that they thought versus what actual wisdom was with running. they weren't all that athletic. I mean, my dad worked, he was a rocket science at NASA for a while. And I mean, he's super smart. He has all these pet projects he works on and has these detailed, like everything to know about ticks and fire ants and farm machinery. And he runs a booth at the fair. And I mean, it's, yeah. So he's a genius, but he's not a genius at sports. And the same thing with my mom. Like she is a genius in some areas, but she's not a genius at anything athletic. So I was basically having to fight that my entire time running and playing basketball and like any athletic opportunity. It's just I had to either ignore what they said or like I had to deal with what they gave me. Because when I was 8, I ran in anywhere from age 8 from that elementary school meet to 10th grade. I ran in basketball shoes because they thought that I needed ankle support and that turning on the track would like destroy my ankles forever. And that my ankle would just be like, bye, and then, you know, I wouldn't be able to walk again or something. But you need running shoes. You need lightweight stuff and not basketball shoes. So I was wearing these heavy clunkers. And man, I remember the first half mile I ran in running shoes, it was something like it was like a 15-second PR. And people were like, what? Like, what the heck just happened? Like, you change shoes and all of a sudden you're like really crazy fast. Like I was fast, but not that fast until I actually wore running shoes. So just another thing there where they didn't see the need for me waking up early to train, which, you know, if you're waking up before everyone else wakes up and you're training and beating everyone to the punch and actually getting your training in while everyone else sleeps, I mean, that's what I gravitate toward nowadays. And seeing the advantage in that, there really is an advantage to training hard, training smart, and having a real purpose and a set of goals to go after. But anyway, number 98, Coach Daniels. The reason I got back into running in 2017, toward the late side of the year, was because there was a 5K that I found out about the night before, at about midnight before the day of the run, and it was the Coach Daniels 5K. He passed away unexpectedly, and there was a 5K in his honor. And it raised money for kids to have athletic scholarships and college scholarships and that type of thing. And he always had a love for really everything. He was a PE teacher, but you know, he had a lasting effect on a lot of people. And when I was at elementary school there, he was my coach, albeit, you know, he was my PE teacher, so I saw him a lot, but he wasn't much of my track coach at the time. But he still instilled at least the encouragement that let me know that, hey, you really run fast. You should invest something in this. Yeah, so when I found out about the 5K, I guess, you know, my parents were like, well, he was just back in elementary school, right? I'm like, he was my PE teacher and coach. And I mean, yeah, definitely. I want to run this for sure. And I think it was the last year that they're ever going to do it that I ran that in. And I'm glad I got to it. I hope they bring it back. But it was a really muggy day. It was at least 80. I don't know if it was 85, but about 90% humidity, just really miserable conditions for the run. But I showed up in these really baggy basketball shorts and just a cotton t-shirt and my minimalist shoes, because I always wore stuff like that for DDR. But I looked like I was ready for a street ball game and out there about to run a 5K. And I didn't have any warm-up going into it at all. Like, I stayed in shape from DDR, but not the same thing. It's different muscle group, different type of emphasis and repetitive stuff that I hadn't been doing for really 16 to 17 years. Because I ran in high school, but then, you know, I cut it past that point. So coming back to running there, and I did end up winning my age group. I finished 4th overall, so I had at least some level of in-shapeness, but at the same time, I ran a 24:11, so it wasn't really a stacked race. Like 24:11 would be like most of the time it's like, you know, so it would have been a long way to go really for any great results. But I saw the time. I remembered being severely sore for 2 weeks after that run. But I made it and I did it and I wanted to get faster. So Just that kind of reminder too, where Coach Daniels encouraged me to run, and I was like, I wonder what I can do now. That kind of that idea. So that sparked some interest, and I signed up for another run. And I was looking at runs strategically, thinking, well, this one has this type of time record. What could I get my time down to by this time? And could I break this potential record? And that type of thing. So anyway, here's me at the World Juggling Championships, getting first place. Pretty cool, but I took it to other races, and this was at the alumni meet for my high school, and it was a 3K, and I love the 3K. I love the 3K so much. I love that distance. I can't emphasize that enough. Like, I don't really love the 5K. I don't feel like I'm flying yet. And when I got, I guess my fastest split right now for any 5K is a 17:58. And that's, I never ran cross country. One thing also, I never ran cross country because my parents thought I would keel over dead because they thought I was too long a distance. So I would always run track and field. And when basketball was in another like stratosphere for any possibility of anyone but a pre-selected few of being part of the team, which is unfortunate. I also ran indoor track, which was outdoor because we didn't have an indoor track, and they were doing construction on some other track in Greensboro or something where the future ones would have been. So we just go for a time out in the cold for indoor track. But this was at the start of pre cross country season for them. I think this was in August. Well, you see me out there in front. That was a lot of fun. That was a whole lot of fun. Okay, so and there's me out with the don't use not quite a slideshow. Here we go. There's me and my coach, Coach Cooper. Oh my goodness, he was an excellent coach. He saw me in my days when I ran in basketball shoes, and he saw my days post running in basketball shoes when I actually got some running shoes. Maybe I would have opted for some actual racing flats that didn't have some issues and all that. I did get some Nike Jasaris. They're running spikes, and I was hoping to get sub 2 at this one particular meet with those spikes, and I think I would have done it very easily. And so I would always be caught up running 3 and 4 events, and I would always make the sacrifice for the team. And I get a lot of flack for this in a lot of different circumstances. Like, for example, Ultimate Custom Night. So if you're paying attention to the Five Nights at Freddy's thing, I sacrificed my completion first to get Daku across the line so that the community could get that interview with Scott. There was no real reason for me to help Daku. I'm not looking to be famous and all that. I do want to keep him out of the hospital too. I mean, I generally want to help people out. And so there was the opportunity there. And so I do work a full-time job. I was wearing myself to a frazzle, wearing myself down to a frazzle, running, going to work, and then coming home, helping Daco, and then also trying to make progress myself on 50-20 mode. So regardless of whether I made that sacrifice or not, I mean, who knows? I was an extreme catalyst in getting that thing done. And that's the thing I know, and that's the thing I live with. I live with myself every day. So I got to do decisions that I think are the right decisions. And I did the same thing with track. I had the option of running in the national championships for the 4x800, and we had an excellent team. There was another runner who had a very similar time to my best, and he wanted with like all his being to be part of that. And so I had been going through some pain, some overuse, because we always ran on asphalt. We didn't have any rubberized tracks or anything like that. But Coach Cooper asked me, "Hey, so national meet, right? I mean, this other runner wants to run it. Like, do you desperately want to run in it still? Because you have that choice." And I'm like, I mean, if he really wants to run it, I can go as an alternate, and he can run it, and fulfill that dream. And I don't know whether it was the right decision or not. I tend to succeed in those situations, and I have no doubt that I probably would have run a 155 if I ran in that one. And maybe that's maybe that's a little much. Maybe 157, but I wouldn't doubt myself for a 155, because any really high pressure situation and all that, when it comes down to clutch, like crunch time in the clutch, I always come through. And it's one of those things. I think about it a lot. Like, what if I ran in that national meet? Would I have wanted to run in college after that point, or would I have gotten hung up? Because a lot of the reason why I stopped running was because there was drama on the team. I also had some overuse stuff where I was sick of getting shin splints by running on asphalt all the time. That would have changed in college, but I don't know. I mean, I had the times, I had the ability. It's just I wanted to stop at that point, and I didn't really have the desire to keep going with it. And I picked up DDR, so I was globally competitive in that. I was number one on the rankers. I've been through that on the juggling year in review or whatever. But if you look up DD Recall, I was the first to get all perfects on Extreme and Supernova. I had the most AAAs in the world. And any of those rankers, the Oni course ranking, I was number one. I pushed so much to be the best I could in like everything I could be the best at, or push myself to be the best I could be. Whichever the limit is, I push toward it. So I feel like I sacrificed a lot, and maybe that one meet I shouldn't have sacrificed. I just don't know, and maybe you could put your thoughts in the comments below. But I don't know, and I wouldn't have been like Alan Webb ran in that meet. I wouldn't have put up some kind of Olympic type of performance, but I would have put up something that would have shattered my time. I have no doubt about that. And when you run with the very fastest, you tend to run faster as well. Plus, the track was amazing. I mean, maybe I would have run a 155, maybe even faster. But I don't know. You can't rewind time, but now I have time that I can reach those times again. So this time maybe with some juggling balls. So I have a lot of motivation to see what I can do, whether it's too late or not, or whether I'm too old, because I'm gonna be 37 in a few months. I'm not exactly a spring chicken. I'm double the age of collegiate runners when I run in the collegiate meet in September, and I don't know. I just feel like I have so much left to improve, so much time. Like, if God grants me the time, of course, but I don't know. It's like I have the motivation now, and if you don't have the motivation back then maybe it wouldn't have been a possibility. But Coach Cooper's a great coach. Maybe the one thing I really wish that he would have had me run a fresh 800 anytime he had me run fresh in a meet, and just that one, and I didn't have to like budget out energy for the other events. Something amazing always happened. School record, or we won, or whatever. But we did win 3 of the conference championships that I was there for. So we didn't do badly at all. I mean, he's an extremely strategic coach and all that. So he might have known better than I do, but I really wish I would have been able to run the open 400 meter. I wanted just one chance at it. And if he gave me that one chance, and I told him this too. I told him when I was in high school, I'm like, you will not regret it. Like, you will not regret it. You give me that one chance, you will not regret it. But he didn't give me that chance ever. So I always ran the 4x4 at the end, but it was usually after 3 events. So I was always like worn out, tired legs, and I could, I don't know. So I wish I could have run that 400 meter fresh. I never got that chance. But and the 800s were always budgeted. So just kind of like a what if, but at the same time, we did so well as a team, and I felt like I sacrificed for the team in multiple instances. And maybe it was wrong, maybe it was right. I don't know, but it's like Jesus said, "Greater love has no man than this," and he laid down his life for his friends. And if Jesus is sacrificial for me, then I'm willing to make that sacrifice for. And I'm talking about track right now too. It's just like it's making these like much lower significance type of sacrifices. But I mean, if it's something that can reflect his greater sacrifice, then cool. Anyway, that's about it. Let me move on. But it was good to see Coach Cooper, and great to see him. I don't know. Great to see everyone who I knew there, which was like 3 people. Oh my goodness. But he was telling everyone about the juggling world record that I'd set at this part, and so everyone's like, "Yay, you did it!" It was crazy. Here's me at some of the other events, winning stuff, running, smiling, looking goofy. Ah, yeah, the one where I joggled. this one, I ran the 5K, and then I ran the mile while joggling, and I won the mile while joggling. It was just awesome. It was fun. Me up front, of course, and then there's a clip of me joggling. And hey, there's on the right there. That's the coworker that always gives me flack for the the runner that shouldn't have gotten credit for finishing a 10K when she actually just only ran a 5K. It was someone who ran a 39-minute 5K and was signed up for the 10K, but didn't tell anyone, or maybe it just didn't like compute or something, that she stopped after 5K instead of finished a 10K. So it said that she finished a 10K in 39 minutes. Looked up all our other times, 39 for a 5K, and we're like, oh no. She wasn't there at the award ceremony, so I'm pretty sure it was an accident. It's not like Marathon Rosie Ruiz type of thing going on where it was on purpose, but there's a nice calf definition there too in that picture on the right. I like that. That's good. I was nice and fresh for that race. That was in September. That was on Labor Day. And then on the left, that was one of my high school running friends as well. So it was pretty cool. She was at the alumni meet too. So yeah, all right, this one was in later September. And then, this one's interesting too. I'm running really relaxed on the left. And this was one that I was so far ahead on the 5K that I kind of took it easy. And it was nice because I could save my legs for another race. And on the right, like I was dragging everything. Like you can see the pain on my face on the right. That's when I was hurt. That's me finishing and limping up to the finish. Man, that's night and day. Look at that though. Because I'm so relaxed on the left and I'm enjoying the run, and on the right it's just I'm hunched over, like I'm trying to manage the pain, and yeah, my strides are not full on the right. Yeah. Oh man, come on, left knee. And this one's a fun one. One of the races, and then I'm trying to figure out from the awards there. I know the one on the top. I don't remember. I won both of those. And then I got some cool prizes too. The Carolina Ale House was delicious too. I cashed that in a $25 gift card. From the one that I got hurt on, I got a plant. And it was a few succulents in a bowl. But look how those grew. I don't know what to do with. Like, I don't know if that's good that they're so tall and so like lavish and lush and all that. But you see the colors on the left as well. You see some of those colors on the right where there's the reddish or whatever. But most of it's green now. Like, I've taken really good care of it. I call it Happy Plant. Beautiful set of plants there, and it grew so tall. Like that. I tried to scale the pot to about the same size there, so you see the change. But I had to put a straw there to support it because it fell over early on because it was just so thick. THICC, thick plant. So I have a Zaxby's straw standing it up right now. I got to go to a gardening store and actually get a professional real stake for it or whatnot. But anyway. Ian, yeah. Hey, he was an Olympic 400-meter hurdler, and he's trying to break the world record for, I think it's 50 and above 400-meter hurdles, and he ran like a 51 or some ridiculous nasty time, and it's crazy. So he's ridiculously fast, and I mean that's. Like, even without hurdles, that's a phenomenal time. So anyway, we see each other at some of the events, and he runs All Stars Management, and maybe one day he said he wants to sponsor me for some race in Jamaica in the winter, and that would be cool. So maybe next year I'll head to Jamaica at some point. That'd be cool. I would sure love the weather a whole lot more than it usually gets here, but at the same time, it's been so beautiful around here. It's been crazy. So I love the weather right now. There's me walking I walked a 10K. That was a 10K. So I have the phone in my right hand. I'm calling my friend Adam, and the photographer was taking my picture, and so I posed for it, but I had Adam on the phone. Oh man, where's my red camo? Oh man, that one stank too because there was a lot of uphill, and even walking, my hamstrings were cramping and my upper calves were cramping. Yeah, I think it was just deconditioning, but it sucked. It sucked so much. And then, okay, after some rehab, here I am on the left running 1.68 miles. It's supposed to be a 2-miler, and I ran it in 10:44, but that's not 2 miles. I'm hunched over as well, so you can see like there's some deconditioning there with my abs, obliques, and lower back. I need to get back to the gym on that. I look a little better on the right there, but I jogged through this one, just a comfortable pace. I mean, it's like 6:15 per, but I want to get back down to about 5:40 a mile. If I could get there in another 2 months and get back to where I was, that would be pretty cool. I don't know. It'll depend on how my legs recover, but I'm running a little bit again, and that's good to see on the right. And the funny thing was, the one on the left I won. I still won the one on the left, and oh man, like okay, I played that one strategically though, because the first mile on the left I ran a lot more slowly, and I hung back in sixth place and just saw what everyone was going to do. And when I started, I kept that same consistent pace up the hill, because like the last half is mostly hill on that course, and then it kind of you run another lap. So after that point, I saw no one was really making a move on that downhill. I was just like, but I couldn't sustain that for too long because I mean my conditioning was not there. So I'm a little hunched over there on the left, but a little more comfortable on the right. But I'm glad to be back to running a little bit here. Yeah, there's me with Coach Elisa again, getting another. That's the first place for that one, and then me with the big old board on that race.
All right. First, male overall for the Free for All Series 2019, Sterling Franklin.
Yeah.
There we go.
I like it. Just trying to put my certificate away.
Right in the middle, right there. Next. Everybody in that background smile too. Yeah.
Looks like we got a whole bunch of stuff in there.
There we go. Right here.
Got like blankets.
That's awesome.
Great job. Congratulations.
All right. So I won. We got some nice prizes for it too. The thing, we had these gold mugs, and one of the organizers says that every one of the future Fit and Able events, the Free for All series, is going to have this gold mug. You see, it says I'm fit and able, all that. And I love that mug. It looks so cool, and I wanted to bring one to work if the place doesn't go bankrupt. And like, I love the thing, and it's so blingy. You know, you can't microwave it, but you can put stuff in it. You can put cold stuff in it, or preheat and that type of thing. But and pour the hot water in or whatever. But yeah, I won. I think it was 7 in a row after that point. And some of the time, I would think, like even the one that I got injured on, I was thinking I gotta get that gold mug. Even more than the points. Like I wanted the gold mug, and none of those races had gold mugs. The one that I won when I came back from injury did not have a gold mug. And then this one that I just casually jogged through and, finished comfortably and without knee pain, there was a gold mug. And so the one that I didn't finish top 3, there was a mug. And so I was just like Alanis Morissette time. That's not really the definition of irony though. So Alanis was kind of wrong. It's just unfortunate, but it's unfortunate that I won all those races, and I did get they gave us gift cards to the sports store. So first was usually either 50 or 60, or I think the cap was 65 on the top gift card for that, and then actually there was one that was higher than that. But then it was mostly in that range for first place, and then I put it all on one card, and then there was a Labor Day sale, so I cashed some of that out. and sold some of those items, that type of thing, with the biggest discount I could possibly get. And then I don't know, but the mug, that's a little bit of a sore spot, but it's more of a silly one. Like I don't care that much, but it would have been nice to have 9 gold mugs instead of 1. But and there's some of the medals, and then a trophy and first place male overall. Really cool. So an excellent year, and it's been a real blessing. And thinking back on some of the sacrifices I've made, even the silly ones, maybe it's worth it. Maybe we'll just see from here on out. You can't change the past. Maybe I wouldn't change the past. I'd still make the same decisions even now. If it means so much to someone else to do some certain thing, I could think of other things too that I haven't told people about. But anyway, it's one thing where you try to do the right thing in the present moment, and you entrust your future to God. And it's like I have hope because I trust the one who holds my future. And with running, that's the case too. I mean, if God wants me to be done with running, if he makes it very clear that, hey, your body's too old now to do certain things or at a certain level and all that, like, I can accept that. I don't want to accept that, and maybe I fight that, but at the same time, like, I'm going to push to whatever I can do, and, God has the last say. We all have a limited time on this earth. We don't know how long we have. We don't know, if there's going to be a nuclear war, if someone's going to fly off the handle even more than usual and make some stupid decision globally and cause some serious harm, or if we're going to contract some disease, or if we're going to live to 120. I mean, we don't know. And I hope that even from this, that you can look at every day and not knowing how long we have in the future, but we have right now. And that you can, again, seize the day, carpe diem, but really seize the moment, make the most out of every moment you have. And whether you have to take care of yourself and sleep and rest your body and not run ridiculous speeds for very long, and let your knee heal up like me. I mean, it's all balanced out, right? You can enjoy sleep, you can enjoy nice weather, you can enjoy treacherous weather or avoiding treacherous weather or something. Just finding the joy in the little things, but also just being grateful for the moments that we do have and making the most out of them. Because if I didn't run this running series, I wouldn't have this tale to tell. I wouldn't be able to think back and think, man, this was a lot of stress. And every single one of these races, I put my own personal touch of training and strategy and effort. Like, I worked so hard at this, and I ran smart up until I ran with my heart and hurt myself. But I wouldn't change anything because that's who I am, and that's what I would have done again. But maybe a little more smarter in the gym next time, right? I learned a lesson. I'm not going to repeat the same stupidity, but I would probably make the same heart-based decision if I thought, I need these points and I need this gold mug. Oh man, the gold mug thing is stupid though. Oh man. Anyway, so I don't know. It's been a great year, but that's the year of running, and that's some of the history of running that I have. And if I think of future goals next year, I want to get my 5K time down in the mid 17s at the very least. But I'm thinking that on the a very tricky course, so maybe a track time would be sub 17 as a result of that. But I'm running in a collegiate race in September, and I want to finish in the top half there. And then juggling, I want to see a juggling 3K time under 11 and see how far I can get in an under 10 type of thing. Like I have an idea of what times I could push, but if we're really talking about goals that I think are obtainable and attainable, I really think that I could get down to a point to where I run at least a 205 half, or I should say 800 meter juggling, or push it to the very limit and get a sub 2 800 while juggling. That would be crazy, and that's really what I want to do for that type of distance. So We'll see what I can do, though. I mean, it's going to depend on my body and what I can train toward, what my body will allow me to do, and that type of thing. But if God grants me the time and God grants me the energy, it would be a great thing to do. So world record right now is a 213 or 212.92, I think was the mark. 212.92. So I'm quite sure I could do that. But getting that way down is the thing. But I won't be wearing basketball shoes, and I'm sure I won't be keeling over because 3.10686 is too long a distance. So anyway, too, like, I do appreciate the sacrifices my parents made, but I do question some of the decisions. I'll know what to adjust if God grants me a family in the future as well. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but at the same time, it's just, we'll play it by ear, go day by day. And I've kind of droned on too long. It's 45 minutes in. Good grief. It's 8. Oh, okay. I gotta stop this video. I gotta upload it and hope that this encodes in time. But Happy New Year, everyone. I'm hoping I don't know. That's it. Peace. God bless you. Have a great day. And hopefully that shows you a little bit more of my passion behind running and the reason why this means so much to me. Even finishing at this series like that, it's just, it means the world. So I'm going to stretch a 3-minute 52-second slideshow to 46 minutes. All right, but I hope it's worth it, and I hope there's at least something you can take. But yeah, seize the day. Check you next time.